so that we can do our no rant for the day. We're not gonna rant. I promise. There ain't no rant. That's the title. No rant for Emoja today. We have no rant for Emoja today. Can I get the war horn? Sweet rant. We're not ranting today. Right? Because I don't got nothing to say about Umoja. Nothing to say about Umoja, because obviously it's not needed. You know, we don't need it, because we don't want to practice it, so we don't need it. It's an unneeded, unnecessary thing. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? It's a hindrance, because we need to be moving and working on our own as individuals. Obviously. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some stuff going on that I don't know, But I have absolutely nothing to say about Umoja. You know what I'm saying? Even though it is the end of all of the principles. This is the end that all of the principles that we practice are working towards. You know what I'm saying? We master the Kujichagulias, and we master the Ujimas, and we master the Ujima, and we master the Nia, we master the Kuumba, we master Imani, so that they all could work together to formulate and create the environment for the Emoja principle to rise, the Emoja force to rise, right? This force that is an unstoppable, incredibly powerful force that operates in the universe, that requires all the other principles to work together to make it work. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't want it, hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, who am I to force that upon you? I am just an old dude sitting in the black cave yelling to the wilderness. Who wants unity? What can you do with it? Nobody wants pyramids no more. Nobody wants to run the world no more. Nobody wants to build corporations or have safe communities anymore. You don't need, you know what I'm saying? I have no rant for unity. I have no rant for Umoja, right? It's an old principle. We don't need it operating anymore, right? We don't need it. The white man is taking real good care of us, right? Okay. Every now and then they get a little heavy-handed with policing. They get a little bit heavy-handed with the jail and stuff like that. But obviously, we don't need our principles to protect. We don't need our culture to protect us. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We don't need it, right? I mean, your life is just fine, even though you don't have no wealth to pass on to your children, your life is just fine. And the possibility that our future generations will become modern day serfs. You know what I'm saying? Especially with no wealth. Who needs unity? Why? Why waste your time? Why work for it? You know what I'm saying? I could just keep on doing the same shit that I've been doing for the rest of my life, and everything will work out. Even though, I won't need anybody in the future, because I won't be able to afford to even have any friends. Because the retirement for most of us is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And without us being able to depend on each other, I'm going to be dead anyway. I'm going to starve to death. You know what I'm saying? With the people in the retirement accounts, you don't need unity. You don't need unity. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all is saving two-thirds below what you really need to retire. So you're not going to need nobody. You know what I'm saying? We don't need unity in the families. We don't need the family. We don't need the tribes. Unity is an old principle. We living in a modern time. You know what I'm saying? Even though everybody else is using it. We always could do our own thing and be a little bit different. We can make being poor look good. We can make poverty look good. We can make being in last place in damn near every statistic, we can make it look good. And maybe we can fool everybody without unity, fool everybody to do what we're doing so that we could sneak in and take what they have. I don't know. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the plan. Right? Because obviously we don't need this thing called you. We don't need emoji, right? Right? We don't need it. So, I'm voting. Voting, get rid of you. We don't even need it in the principle. So we're going to go from, so I don't know what we're going to call emoji day since we're going to get rid of it. All right, hell with it. We're going to take emoji, the day, the time for emoji. We're going to divide it by 6. That's divide 7. Divide 24 by 6, which gives us 4, which gives us an extra 4 hours that we can add on to the other days, and we can have 6 days for the week. How's that? No? You think unity is something that we might need to work towards? Something that we might need to practice? Because it's a very necessary tool for us to be really able to move to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Something that we have to grasp, or something that we have to study, something that we have to move towards and work towards. All right? So family, that's my no rant for the day. Told y'all, I promised y'all I wasn't gonna have a rant. Promised y'all I wasn't gonna have a rant. And I kept my word. I didn't even speak about unity. Didn't speak good. I just, had a conversation with my fam. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Leave me your thoughts, your comments, whatever. But good morning, family, and welcome to Giami Journey Media. I sound the war horn, and as I say, class dismissed. Now get the hell up out of my classroom. All right, family, let's get to this toast. We're going to get to this toast. That record. We're going to go on back. We're going to go to our sound effects. All right, family, we need anime. Can I get that horn, please? All right, family, we about to start the rant. We are on Coogee Chagalia today. And with Coogee Chagalia, because the key piece about Coogee Chagalia for us, a lot of us, is the ability to define ourselves for ourselves, right? I mean, that's it in a nutshell, right? It's a very powerful principle. It speaks to you being able to not only define yourself, but to start shaping your personal story. But one of the issues that I'm running into, right, in the development of a tribe, in personal development, and in helping people move to self-mastery, is the ability to not only define, but to be clear, to have clarity about where you are going. See, because Coogee Chagalia is beautiful as long as it has a target. You understand what I'm saying? And many of the people that I run into sometime, what starts to happen, and you start listening to their vision, the vision is very unclear, right? It is not precise enough. It's not, actually, I ran into, it got so deep for me that I ran into a perspective of where somebody said they wanted to be one thing, but what they described was something totally different. So, for example, let me give you a sample. I want to be a plumber. And you'd be like, okay, what's a plumber? I want to be the person to work with the electrical wiring and be able to, install cable and put a couple of tiles up on the roof. Could do nothing but be silent. That ain't no goddamn plumber. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Right? But this is the extent to which sometimes people have not really, how can I put it? They're so used to just answering questions and people not even really listening to them that they could say some stuff like that. But in Giame, what we have to start doing is helping people to clarify their vision. But first we gotta get people to be honest with themselves. Is this what you really want to do? Because what you're describing is not what you said you want to do. Right? And if you are not clear on where you are going, you will never know when you arrive. And you more than likely will never get anywhere near the place that you're trying to have. Now, so those of us that have tribe members, those of us that have family members, those of us that have friends, those that have partners that are talking about what they want to be, and if you are at a point in your relationship where you can have those deep conversations where it go beyond sports, sex, and money, and you can really start talking about and breaking down each other and helping each other understand where the other one is going. We have to be bold enough to look at somebody and be like, what in the fuck are you talking about? That what you said is not what you said you want to do. I'm confused. And a lot of us are not able to bring our dreams to reality. A lot of us are not able to bring our plans to completion because we are moving towards the wrong thing. We think we want one thing, but actually we're moving towards something else. And because everybody else is like, oh, I'm just glad you got something, we're not being honest with each other and helping people or helping each other get clarity. We're lost, right? And it's sort of like, and let me give you another example. For years, I walked around and I thought my vision was good, and I for a long time it was. But as my vision started getting worse, I didn't notice that my vision was getting worse. I didn't know that my vision was bad until I went to the eye doctor, and the eye doctor did put the drops in my eyes and put me in front of one of those things and started moving it around until he got things clear for me. I didn't even know. So what we have is a bunch of people running around here with cloudy vision and they don't even know. And what some of us have to do, we have to be those eye doctors to help them figure out that, oh snap, I haven't been seeing clearly. But sometimes that takes us having to be honest with each other. That takes us having to be willing to, in a sense, in many cases, we may be putting our whole relationship on the line. Because some people don't like hearing the truth. People don't, you become a hater. Right? Because you don't want to support somebody who is telling you a dream, but what they're describing is not really what they want. And you know because you sit there and you listen to them. But everybody else around them, see, because everybody else don't mind you being lost because they're lost as well. And as long as you're lost, you certify their life. You help them feel better about themselves in being lost. But in Giami, we can't be lost. We realize that we don't have the time to be lost. We can't be lost. We can't do it no more. We're trying to build culture, family. We're trying to build tribe. We're trying to build legacy. We're trying to make sure that there's something left here for our young people, because we know that there's other people around us trying to not only eat our lunch, they're trying to eat our breakfast, and they're trying to eat our dinner. They're trying to take everything off the table. They're trying to take all of our space and time and leave us with absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, they want us to just give it to them out of guilt. And if we don't give it to them, they'll come in and they'll try to snatch it. And we have to make sure that we are standing firm in who we are, and that we are fulfilling our goals, and we are fulfilling the destiny that we chose to come to this planet to fulfill. and not be running around in circles. We can't afford that. We don't see the mistakes for us are a lot more costly than it is for our West Asian counterparts. Let's be honest about it. We get one, maybe two chances. If you're lucky, two. So the margin for error for us is a lot larger. So when we run into young people that's like Giame, and we run into young people that want to be in trial, you run into young people that want to be up under your mentorship, you have to be honest. Oh, yes, of course, be encouraging, but you have to be honest. And sometimes that comes with a brutal type of honesty to let them stop playing. You playing. You know what I'm saying? And some of y'all, Giame, y'all playing. You playing. When nobody else is playing, everybody else is serious. People want your spot. They want your spot. And because you don't have the clarity and you don't really understand the power of the principles, you playing with it, you're going to fall behind. Yo, that's the rant for the day. That's the rant for the day. I hope it made some sense. I call it a rant for a reason. I'm ranting and shit. But anyway, we're going to sound that war horn. And as we said, Giame, class dismissed. Now get the hell out of my classroom. All right, family, grab your glass. Grab your glass. Get your health drink. It is time to lift up the ancestors. And that's what we're going to do here at Giame Journey. Push and record. Going back. Getting anime. Blow that horn, anime. Oh, baby, the horn is sounded. And we are about to do our rant. No communication. No Ujima. Or no communication. And you will know Ujima. Now, family, listen. We have to learn how to communicate. Right? We have to learn how to pass messages to each other and actually read deep messages that might be coming just from the nod of a head or the look in the face or the tension that somebody is feeling, because everybody is not good at totally expressing themselves, and some of us have to become good at reading some of that stuff. But still, as adults, we have to start learning how to communicate. How to communicate from adult to adult, how to communicate from adult to young person, how to communicate from young person to adult, so that we can keep the line of communications open. Ujima is about collective work and responsibility. And there is no collective work if there's no communication. Now, in Giame, all the principles start from an internal thing first. And I know a lot of people get confused when we talk about collective work and responsibility. What type of collective do I have, Brother Hatem? Remember, we talk about Giame 5 parts of being. You got the intuition, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical. There's 5 parts. That's a collective. And all 5 parts of those, in order for you to be working at your optimal, all 5 parts of your being have to be able to communicate in between themselves so that they can work on what the whole needs. Just like the cells in your body have to be able to communicate, you know what I'm saying, effectively in order for your body to work. All of the organ systems have to be able to communicate. You know what I'm saying? To work as a whole. So you got communication going on all around. Either good communication or miscommunication going on around you all of the time. So when it comes to us organizing as groups, we have to be able to do the same thing, right? Because some of us represent the lungs, some of us represent the liver, some of us represent the brain, some of us represent the blood, some of us, you know what I'm saying? We represent all of the systems of a body as a tribe, right? So we have to be able to communicate the information that we are responsible for to the whole. Now, part of the issue comes as far as the communication is when you got parts of the organism, parts of the tribe, parts of the community, parts of the groups or the teams or the whatever, or even parts of your body that start communicating information that they don't need to communicate. See, because you have a lot of parts that's trying to act as the brain when they are not the brain. You have a lot of parts that's trying to act as the heart when they're not the heart. You have a lot of parts that's trying to act as the liver when they're not the liver. You got other parts that's trying to act as the lungs. See, part of the communication is first realizing who the hell you are and where you are on the totem pole. Let's say that. Where you are in the order, where you are in the tribe. And get the information that you need and be able to communicate that successfully. What starts to happen is that sometimes either we're not communicating enough or we're communicating too much of the wrong information, which is called noise. Some of us is making a lot of noise, and that noise is causing confusion, which is breaking down the ability of the whole to operate in the way that it needs to. All right? So when we say no communication, no ujima, we mean that if you are not communicating the information that you are supposed to communicate. Now, and let's be clear about that. This is why it's important for, like, not only as us as a tribe do we need to establish borders, within the tribe we need to establish borders. And this is what I mean. Because sometimes you have people that want to step over into other people's areas and don't know what the fuck they're doing. Stepping on people's toes. Talking about shit that they don't need to be talking about. Trying to pass information that they don't need to be passing. Responding to shit that they don't need to respond to. I understand. It happens. But that's part of the issue because one, we haven't really looked at the Kuji Chagalia aspect of the definition piece, that group definition, and being able to define and be in where we are, because we all are great. We are, if we're ladies, we're every woman. If we're men, we're Superman, and we're able to do everything, and I'm able to be everything. When in fact, that's not the case. You are good at what you're good at. I'm just saying. Same for me. I'm good at what I'm good at. Sometimes I get out my space and I need to be reminded and be checked. Because that ain't what you do, brother. I got it. Right? And we got to remind each other that shit. No communication. Not no, like N-O, it's K-N-O-W. No communication, no ujima. We know for ujima to work, right? For a collective, cooperative, for collective work, we know that in a collective, each of us have to have a duty. We all can't be doing the same thing. We don't need a collective if everybody doing the same damn thing. You know what I'm saying? That's more like a mob. You know what I'm saying? We don't need a mob. We need an organized group of individuals that are able to carry out the duties that will make the process complete, that will finish the process, right? That process is, with all those individuals working, is like the whole that they're trying to accomplish. The goal, finish the goal, complete the goal. Let's keep it moving. Let's move on to the next goal. But I ain't got nothing else. To rant about as far as that. I'm going to stop right there. But like I said, family, know your place, right? Know what you're supposed to do, and make sure you pass on the information that you are supposed to pass on. Right? You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to be everything, you know what I'm saying, and do everything and not be in your position. Play your position. If you're quarterback, quarter, please. If you're a fullback, full, please. If you're a defensive end, defensive ended, please. You know what I'm saying? If you're a guard, please. All right? If you're a physicist, please. Okay? You know what I'm saying? If you're a teacher, teach, please. Do your goddamn thing, please. And let's communicate the information that we need to communicate. And let's not step on each other's toes. Let's do what we're supposed to do to the best of our abilities. Because when you operate at your best and I'm operating at my best, that means that the tribe is at its best. That means the community is at its best. We're all doing what we're supposed to do. But of course, we don't communicate. Since we don't communicate, confusion runs its course and people fall out and keep on moving. But with that, I'm going to say the rant is over. As we say in GMA family, please, please, please know that class is dismissed. Now get the hell up out of my classroom. Anime, I need the war horn, please. All right, family, we starting the rant. We're starting the rant. The rant for the day is what? Asking the question, what do you value? What do you value? Right? Now, family, this is a very important question when you're building a tribe. When you're building a family. Right? When you're building yourself. You have to know what it is that you value. Now, first thing is how to identify what it is that you value. Years ago on my blog, I wrote an article where I talked about, several different articles where I brought up the fact that I believe that most people were atheists. They were closet atheists. I know a lot of people won't get upset about that. I'm not a closet atheist, you know what I'm saying? But if you believe the things that you say about God, right? The power of God, how God knows everything is all places, all time, blah, 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 and you still do some of the fuckery you doing, you don't believe in God. I'm just saying. Some of the shit that y'all do in secret, that we know that you do in secret, is a full 100% testament that you have absolutely no belief. But in one article, I talked about how people were closet atheists, and in another article, I talked about what is worship and what is worship today, right? And you can see a person's value by where they spend their money. You can see their values. Hell with what they say to you, right? Look at where they spend their money. Look at where they spend their money and look where they spend their time. This allows you to understand a person's values. It don't matter what they tell you. It don't matter where you see them on Kwanzaa or whose table you see them sitting during Christmas or what church they go. Where do they spend their money? Where do they spend their time? This allows you to identify what it is you. Now, I want you to focus on you because I don't want you to run and be like, see, I know what you value. No, I want you to focus on you, right? What do you value? Because when it comes time for us to start building tribes, because of family, I've been telling y'all for the last, we on 5 years rolling. I mean, at least where we've been public with this whole tribal thing, right? Talking about building tribe. 5 years, right? And in a minute, I'm gonna look like a motherfucking prophet because I'm telling you, you're going to need more than just your family. And a lot of family that you think you're going to be able to depend on, you're going to find out that they might not even be family. You need to start building tribes. And in order to build tribes, you have to figure out what your values are. And then you have to align with other people who have very similar values. Now, prayerfully, those values that you have are very constructive. Because if you have a tribe that's based on destruction and fuckery, guess what you're going to get? Destruction and fuckery. That's right. Right? You need to go on and really evaluate your values. And if you can, and if you're not happy with them, start changing what it is you value. And you do that by taking the money that you're spending on the thing that you don't want to value and take a little bit of that and start spending it on things that you do value. Right? See, because now I had to come to terms with this, and it took me a long time because like I said, I've been on this path damn near my whole life. Now, as far as an adult, I had to struggle through most of my adulthood trying to figure and piecemeal this thing together, because you would have people that be like, I'm down with the tribe, or I'm down with nation building, or I'm down with this, but then you would see that they would spend more time doing other things. You would see that they would spend more money doing other things, right? And I'm at a point now where those people that are around me, once I start noticing, right, that this is not the primary thing, and I ain't just talking about that this lifestyle that we're talking about is not the primary thing, I don't even argue with them no more. I just move on. I just do what I have to do, right? Because like I said, people be like, well, this take up a lot of time. Well, nigga, I mean, I get up and toast the ancestors every day. That's time, right? You know what I'm saying? We talk about 224 self-help process. You got to at least spend 2 hours a day working on your tribe, working on yourself. At least 2 hours. See, because the people that's oppressing us, the people that's running the world, is spending 24 hours a day to make sure that you are in a subjugated position, and you have the audacity to tell me that getting free is time consuming. Right? It can be expensive. Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Yeah, yes, it can. Yes, it can. It could be inconvenient. Yes, it can. Right? Right? It could put you in some yes, it can. Because sometimes you're going to have to make some choices that are going to make you very unpopular. But the fact of the matter is, you show where your values are. Now, let me tell you something about human nature. People like to imitate people who demonstrate that they are real about theirs. Right? I'm just keeping it all the way real with you, family. Right? When you real about it, people admire that. People copy that. People try to become that. And you have to become the model, right? So, people see where I be putting my money. I'm putting my money in Giame, right? Put my money in Giame, right? And I'm investing in my kids, right? And I'm investing in all of the young people in our circle. I'm investing time with them, right? And I'm throwing time at them. And I'm trying to find ways to throw money at them, right? Because that's where my value is. Because I understand that my life, right? Like I tell y'all all the time on the toast, in my life, right? I have been given space and time, and it is in a sense a loan to me, right? And it hasn't been loaned to me by my ancestors. No, my ancestors, in a sense, gave me their debt. See, because it's not mine, it is my future generations. And if I squander it, it is equivalent to what? Treason. Treason. Many of us are committing treason. Be like, but I don't know it. They didn't know it was treason. As they tell you in court, ignorance of the law is no excuse. It's no excuse. Right? And once people start hearing, they start getting uncomfortable. This is why I'm telling you, those of you that are serious about this, you have to make people feel uncomfortable. And please understand, I ain't just talking about white people. When you go in a room, it ain't just white people that you need to make feel uncomfortable, because there's a lot of us that are very comfortable doing the fuckery that does nothing for us. Nothing. It leaves nothing for our children. It leaves nothing for the future. It leaves nothing. They need to feel uncomfortable too. They need to, you know what I'm saying? They need to kind of sit up in their seat. They need to get wiggly in their seat when one of us walk in the room. But that requires us to be dedicated. That requires us to be clear on what we value. And don't apologize about it. Don't be as they say, be very unapologetic about it. Don't even be like, I'm sorry if you feel like, no, fuck your feelings. I'm like Tupac, motherfuck your feelings. Put it in the song. I'll write a song about it. I got a whole song for you. You want to hear it? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like this, because nobody cares about your feelings. Nobody cares about your culture. Nobody cares about any of that. And you oftentimes show that you do not care by where you invest, by you showing what you value. Nobody will value what is yours more than you, nor should they. And many of us have been waiting for people to validate and value what we have. And I'm telling you, nobody ever will. Because if they value what you have, right? above what they have, then that means you have power. And nobody wants you to recognize your power. So they got to pretend like what you have is not worth shit. So you need to break them out of the play. You need to break yourself up out the game, and you need to break them up out the game they playing, so they can start recognizing your true value. I have realized something, like with my free e-course and stuff. I'm giving away too much. I'm giving away too much. So in a minute, I have to revamp all that. So I want people to enjoy the free shit while it's still there. I can't do it no more. Can't do it no more. You know why? Because I have to provide some young people with jobs, even though I know, because I already know what's coming for them in the future. So I have to really, really focus on what I value. I got to take what I value, and I got to elevate it in my mind and elevate it in the eyes of in the eyes of the world, at least in the eyes of those that are like me. So, hey, my 10 minutes is up. I kind of got into it today. Hopefully you got something out of it. With that, I'm saying peace. Can I get the war horn, please? All right, family. As we say in Giame, class is dismissed. Now get the hell up out of my classroom. Rant. We are about to go in on this rant. Can I have the war horn, Miss Anime, please, since you controlling everything back there? The war horn has been sounded, and the rant is officially on. So the question for today is, are you useful? And I know a lot of people don't like those type of questions, because it's like, you know, if you're human, you're youthful and blah 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 blah. And that where those talking points come from, right? Usually a lot of those talking points come from the dominant group, right? Because what the dominant group it does is that after they become dominant, what they want to do is they want to soften the rules so that they can continue staying dominant but keep everybody else soft. Hey man, I mean, listen, you can't knock the hustle. You can't knock the hustle, right? I'm gonna throw you off by making you have to focus on, you know what I'm saying? You have to become softer. You have to embrace you embrace your soft side. You know what I'm saying? While we continue training our warriors over here in secret, we want you to get the perception that we all are the same, and we, it's certain things that, yeah, we were wrong about certain things, but that don't mean that we all have to react in the same way that we've been reacting in. No, we need to grow beyond that, and we need to move. And, you know, I mean, because nobody ever found it strange that the same culture that went around raping and pillaging everywhere they go is the same ones that talk about ladies and gentlemen. I mean, just think about the whole concept of gentlemen from a culture such as this, right? Gentlemen. It is such an oxymoron. It's a goddamn blasphemic term from a culture that is I mean, it's vampiric. They exist off of other cultures. They attack them and they suck them dry. But getting back to the point of asking the question, are you youthful? Because it's uncomfortable to ask this question, because we all are supposed to, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to ask things like that, right? But as a culture, we have to start understanding that in order for us to move forward, right, we have to become useful to the culture. We have to become useful to the group, right? There's no room for you to sit and not do shit. You have to become productive. Everybody could do something, right? But this is the problem, right? We have fallen into a mind state. We have fallen into a quote-unquote first world mind state where everybody has value. Just because. And let me please tell you, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. See, because if I don't have anything to strive for, right? If I don't have to grow, then why do I grow? The only thing we have to do in our culture is to make sure that people are growing for and into the culture. We have to give them goals, right? So we all have to become useful, right? As a man, I have to be useful to the collective. And you be like, well, what about when you can't fight no more? Then I become useful for my mind and my insight, right? Because I have served the collective long enough where enough people in the collective can recognize the work that I have done, and I will always be taken care of. That's the way it works. That's the way it works, right? But of course, if we are using our enemy system, right, then I will discard my old. See, because I want you to understand, in an oppressed state, it is not good to have old people or have anybody with enough time to get some sense about themselves. See, and see, please understand that, right? I have to keep you busy. I have to send you back to work, right? See, because even in this culture, you have to stay useful. Listen to how the politicians address the people when it came to this COVID thing. Well, if you don't work, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like your work or what you do is what brings your value to the society. So I'm asking y'all a question. As a culture in a position of where we are right now, do we have room for dead weight? Do we have room for individuals just to sit around and not do nothing? Or do we need people that are useful to the culture? And we have to be bold enough to say that. And we have to start asking the question, what use are you? What do you bring to the table? And when motherfuckers give you answers like they are at the table or some bullshit like that, and this is the same not only for tribal relationships, this is the same for family relationships, this is the same for personal relationships. What do you bring to the table? Well, I am the table. No, motherfucker, you not. Please, be a little bit more specific. What do you mean? Are you the right leg or are you the left leg? You know what I'm saying? Are you the piece that's in between the legs that we could stack everything on? What are you saying? Right? Please, because we need to start identifying. See, and this is what's dope, right? When you start being useful to the collective, they won't even have to even ask you the question. Matter of fact, when you're asked the question, other people will speak up for you. Oh, whoa, hold on. This person does the rituals all of the time. This person is, when I needed help with this person was able, boom, boom, boom. We have to start being helpful to each other, because what happens is, how can I put it? Part of the economic system is the idea of reciprocity. In that is the idea of reciprocity, right? What comes around goes around, right? And it's like, if I am useful, right? This means that it sparks other people. How can I put it? Because when I am useful to you, you become useful to me, or you might be able to spread that usefulness to somebody else. So it's like we serve and we form a circle within the community of all this energy and all these resources being spread around because we're all useful. But what happens is we end up having people who wants to sit on the outside and wait for us to accumulate some shit and then want to leech. Right? See, in Giami, one of the things that I love trying to help people, but one of the things that I don't help people with is recurring bills. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like they sit on the outside and they wait, and then when they need assistance for something like that, they come on a regular basis, or they come every 3 months, or they come every 4 months. And even in my personal life, I don't like helping people with that type of shit. Why? Because that is recurring shit. That's something that you need to go and take care of, because that's with you for the rest of your life. And what happens is we have people who wants to sit around and sit on the outside, sit on the fringes, and they might do something every now and then, but they're not superly involved, and they want to draw off resources that could be used to serve the wider community, but they would rather hog them all for themselves. And they get in and they take up time, they take up space, they take up resources. And we got to stop that, because we have to build towards the future. We have to protect the space and time that our ancestors left us for our children. We have to expand that. And we can't allow people to leech off of that for their personal gain. We can't allow people to leech off of that. You know what I'm saying? And take away our children's inheritance, right? And waste it. Because that's what's going on right now. We got a bunch of leeches sitting around they want something without putting anything in. They want it just because they was born. They believe that they deserve it. And they believe that they deserve it from the wrong group. We didn't take shit from nobody. As a matter of fact, all the shit's been taken from us, and we're trying to build shit up. We're trying to build up what we can so that we can start snatching our shit back from all those that's been taking shit from us, right? But we can't do that if we got motherfuckers sitting on the outside constantly leeching. We got lazy people within the circle that don't want to move or is too scared to do anything. How are we supposed to build? How are we supposed to build a tribe? How the hell we ever going to become nation builders? We're never going to be able to be nation builders because we got too many motherfuckers trying to feed off the nation before we got it. My 10 minutes is up. Sound the war horn. Family, I'm ringing that bell. Now get the hell up.